Hello everyone, and welcome back to The Negative. In this video, we're going to take a look at Bergger Pancro400. This is going to be kind of a review, but mainly I'm just going to be giving my 2 cents on this film. If you're already familiar with this film, you can skip ahead. I'm going to put time codes so you can skip the intro. But this film is a 400 speed 2 emulsion film, which normally you probably wouldn't know anything about the emulsion, but that's kind of what they include on their website, is that it's 2 emulsions, and that is intended to give greater latitude. This film is labeled as 400 speed, but I think it's actually a little bit slower than that, because if you guys remember the pumpkin photo, it was supposed to be for zone 3 on the shadow, but it was pretty underexposed to zone 3, so it wasn't even close. This is one of the reasons that it's important to do some test shoots with your film. Like if you're not used to shooting a certain film, do some test shoots first and see how it exposes, because it might get better shadow detail with other developers and not the one that you use. Like I think Bergger has a developer that'll get better shadow detail with this film, but I think most people are probably not using that developer, so it's best to expose it a little bit lower. So that's exactly what I did. I exposed it at 200 and at 400 so I could see the two side by side and see which one gave better shadow detail. So when I had shot this before at 400, obviously it was underexposed, so I knew it was going to need like maybe a 200. So I think this 200 speed exposure looks actually pretty good. 400 speed is on the left and 200 is on the right. The 400 speed is usable. You can pull some shadow detail out of there, but I think the shadow detail came out way better at 200. For this test, I developed these in HC110 Dilution B, and I metered for zone 4 in the shadow area on the left side of the hat. I only did one shot at 400 and then the rest were at 200 because I knew 200 would be a lot better exposure for this film's shadow detail. This film's look is intended to be like a classic grain look. It's not a T grain, it's regular, and I think it does have a really nice tone to it. It has good contrast, and I think overall I would definitely recommend shooting at 200. This film holds up really well even super close up. I wanted to get kind of a close-up shot with some out of focus area so I could see, usually in those out of focus areas, the grain, you can kind of get a feel for how intense that grain is, and even close up, I think the out of focus areas, the grain looks really smooth. I usually just include straight scans with these film tests, but I wanted to throw in one where I kind of touched it up a little bit to my liking, so you can see when you edit this film what kind of look you can get out of it. I usually like a bit of a punchier look. Here's another close-up shot so you can kind of get a feel for how the film looks. In conclusion, I think this is a really great film. It's definitely a quality film and it's got a great look to it, but my advice is don't shoot it at 400, shoot at 200, or if you want to experiment. The film actually is recommended on the website that you can expose it from 160 up to 1600, but I think it wouldn't be very good at 1600, so keep it lower, and I think you definitely won't be disappointed. My question for you guys is, have you ever shot Bergger Pancro400, and would you ever give it a try? Let me know in the comments, and we'll see you guys next time on The Negative.